Praise the Lord. Are you a content creator who is struggling to grow your YouTube channel and to get views and to get traction on connecting with the right audience for the content that you're making? And as a result, you're frustrated. You're working a 9 to 5 job. You have a family, you have responsibilities, you have children, you have other personal commitments and responsibilities, but yet you are passionate about creating content on YouTube and you are just feeling like you're stuck. Well, tonight we're going to have a creators only conversation on how to help you to grow on YouTube, grow your channel while you're still working a 9 to 5 job. And we're starting right now. Praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle. I'm your host, Walter Strong, where it's our goal to help you as a working class content creator to grow your channel, get more views, and make money online. And as we said in our opening tonight, we're going to be talking about some tips, some tools, some strategies, and just some things that we're working on as content creators that's going to help us to be in a better position where we can grow our YouTube channel and connect with the right audience whose our videos, our live streams, and other forms of content are for. So if that's you, let me know in the chat where you're watching me from. Give me a hashtag Team Live in the chat. If you're watching the replay tonight, or wherever when you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag Team Replay. Tonight is going to be a little more laid back. This is going to be almost like an informal uh, live stream, but yet we're going to get into some great content tonight. So I would really love to know where you're watching me from. Give me a hashtag Team Live and where you're watching us from as we get into the content tonight. Um, we're just going to go over some things. So as a matter of fact, let me just go ahead and pull up our slide presentation on which we are going to be working on. Boom. There we go. Creators only live stream for you and me to encourage one another as working class content creators to grow on YouTube. So no matter what your channel is about, as long as you have a goal, you have an agenda, you have a purpose, and while you're creating content, you have a sort of a good idea of who the target audience you want to reach and to connect with. Let us know as we share this tonight. So let's go over here to my slide presentation, making sure this is working properly. Okay. We're going to get it working. We're going to get it working. Told you tonight's going to be a little laid back. We may make a few mistakes, but that's okay. So creators only live stream. If you are on YouTube, if you are on YouTube, this live stream is for you. So here's our agenda for tonight: creators only. We're gonna first start this off a little different. I want to get into some creator shout outs. I want to shout out a few three content creators that I want to shout out tonight on the show. I'm gonna start off a little different, and this first content creator that I want to shout out is Coach Al Bergen. Coach Al Bergen just started a YouTube channel. Recently came across Coach Bergen, who was watching one of our team replay live streams a week and a half ago, and he left a comment in the comment section and shared. I think we were covering the topic on the importance of how to find your niche or your target audience on YouTube, and he really shared some thoughts on how he felt like the content really connected with him. Also, encouraged him in his new journey of creating content on YouTube. What I always try to do when I get a new viewer on the channel, whether if they're watching the content or they watch the content and they also subscribe, I take it a point to go and look at their channel and see what their channel is about. I go into the description section to kind of get an idea what they're making content about, who their target audience is. And this gentleman here, he's creating content to encourage male and females who've kind of gone through some setbacks in life, and whether if those setbacks in life are financial, if those setbacks in life are through marriage, or through divorce, or through career, just to share his story and the things that he's gone through and how he's been able to continue to pick himself back up. Though life may knock him down, shares his story, shares his successes, his struggles, and how he can get back up. And so I got a chance to check him out. And the first video that I watched was pretty good. I left a comment there, but I wanted to shout him out. And so what we're gonna do from time to time on these creator only meetings is to be able to shout out a one to three, content creators whose channels that I'm watching. Because depending on, for you on my homepage, when I'm looking to be able to find small YouTube content creators who haven't met the threshold of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, my homepage is just filled with all the big YouTube content creators who are getting, thousands of views, 10,000 subscribers, and they do serve a purpose and why I'm watching them, of course. But at the same time, to be able to find other content creators like me and you who are working class content creators who are trying to grow your channel, and to try to give that support. And so I wanted to start this new live stream where we're just kind of talking about content creators only. Not, it's kind of informal, kind of have a format, but I want to shout him out. So when you get a chance, check out Coach Al Bergen. Check out some of the content that he's making. And if it's something that connects with you, give him some support. I think this is, creator collab shout outs is something that we can do to encourage one another. I want to say good evening to my good man, James Bush from Prayer Request Live, who's watching us. Appreciate it. You joining us tonight. Hashtag Team Live. My second person, excuse me, my second person that I want to bring up tonight. This individual was referred to me by another person in the Huddle community who is a regular, who's on most of our live streams. This person is a family member of this person, and he let me know that this person in his family that he's related to started their own YouTube channel. So I got a chance to check out, make sure I get it right, Unscripted Donna. And what she's making here on this YouTube channel is it deals with a lot of nature, outdoors. She has I think like a webcam or a camera that kind of shows you some of the outdoor nature and birds and just the quietness away from the noise that we deal with every day, 9 to 5, on our jobs, and just the noise of the social media, internet, and notifications and text messages, and just to kind of listen to some of her videos. And it's just so calming, so relaxing. And so after I listened to a couple of her videos, I subscribed immediately, because it's something different than what I have in my uh, uh, what I want to say, a bank of channels that I listen into and I watch to. Subscribe to James Bush, Prayer Request Live. I'm subscribed to some of the larger big content creators. Subscribe to some of the individuals who are part of the Huddle community. But her channel is a little different. It's outdoors, nature, birds, and just the quietness and the stillness of just getting away. Maybe sometimes I don't find the time to go find a park to go walk in, but just putting on one of her videos, and it kind of reminds me if I'm walking in the park or something, just to kind of just to just unplug. And so when you get a chance, check out Unscripted Donna. I wanted to kind of do these creator shout outs in the beginning of our live streams, because I realized if I was to do it towards the end, chances is, I want to be able to, especially those who are team replay. I want team replay to be able to catch these channels and check them out. And if it's something that connects with you as a viewer, then give her your support and check out her content. My third person that I want to shout out tonight is my man Ender Trading. Ender Trading. Now he is a regular here on the huddle. You don't see him much in the live chat, and that's because he is over in Europe. And so the time difference of when I go live, I think it's probably morning morning or afternoon for him. And so I always can count on him being a part of team replay, always leave some comments, and he's always willing to provide not just comments but some constructive criticism when necessary on how he feel I can better improve the channel. And so I think that's very valuable to have people who leave comments in your comment section or in your live chat when you're live and willing to provide you some constructive criticism, excuse me, where you can be able to better grow your channel and make some adjustments on your content. I think we need that instead of just people just saying great video, good, good point. But really saying, hey, I think he asked me a question in terms on SEO, on do I use SEO regarding my YouTube titles, and I kind of share with him my thoughts on how I come about coming up with my titles and everything. And I do use tools like Chat GPT, which are the free versions, and Gemini. But I always kind of use those tools as a way of coming up with three or four options of titles, and then from there I'll kind of pick the one that I feel that works best with the overall video package. And so just to get his thoughts and his feedback on his opinion about SEO, on how titles sometimes in most AI tools don't necessarily come across in the best way that can be beneficial for content creators. So just for him to share his opinion, his thoughts on that, and just his overall feedback on how he felt that I could better make better titles, better make better titles. Say that 20 times. um, so that's the reason why I wanted to shout him out tonight. And so you say, well, Walter, how do I, when you have these creator onlys, how do I get my channel a collab shout out? Well, simple criteria. One, you want to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. We're here at the huddle. You want to make sure you're subscribed. Click the alert notification button so that way you know that you are alerted when we go live or when we upload a latest video. You are watching the latest content. And then two, engaging in the video, providing some comments or some thoughts on what you got from the video. Give us a like. If it's something you didn't like, hey, give me a thumbs down and tell me why, on how you feel it didn't meet the expectations on trying to help you as a fellow content creator grow on YouTube, wherever your struggle or your challenge is. And so if you're consistent with that, and I constantly see you in the live streams or in the comment section on Team Replay, then we'll certainly put you on one of our creator collab shout outs. So we wanted to start this first round of creator collab shout outs with these three individuals. So I hope you get a chance to check out one or all three of their channels. Just in particular, Ender Trading, he kind of deals with finance and stock. And again, it may not necessarily be something that, stocks and investment that we all may be interested in. And again, he's dealing with it from over in Europe. So it's not US stocks or NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange. Maybe he has some content on there that may cover that, but it's more overseas type stock and trading. He also touches on some SEO and AI stuff as well. But I wanted to shout him out because he's always consistent. So in the trading, if you get a chance to in a couple of days to watch the replay of this, I want to show you some love on this first creator only. So that's our creator shout out. Let's move on to our next section. But before we do, if you're getting value out of all our live streams that we do here on the Huddle, not just tonight, make sure you give us a thumbs up, hit that like button for me. Share this on your favorite social media platform that you're on the most, fellow content creator. You'll be amazed. Sometimes you have a conversation with individuals that want to start creating content on YouTube, but they just need some encouragement. I was just speaking to someone this past weekend, as this weekend is coming to a close. Um, I was at the car at a car dealer place where my wife was picking up a new vehicle, and the salesman who I got a chance to talk, she kind of gave me the heads up on that. He's an introvert. He likes to talk and everything, which of course I think you need to be like that in some way. If you're a car salesman. But then when he began to share with me his second business that he had, and how he's been on Instagram, he's been on TikTok, but he wants to get started on YouTube, but he struggles with being comfortable being on camera. And so in between him putting together this, closing the deal for my wife to get her brand new car, we had, quite a bit of a conversation. And so we're setting up a discovery call, where we can kind of get him started and helping him get in the right path of setting up his YouTube channel. And so you'd be amazed sometimes if you just go ahead and have a conversation with someone, you may be able to be a person who can help encourage someone with their business, with the goal of trying to increase their sales and leads, or even just wanting to make extra money, by sharing your story and your YouTube channel, and what you're doing, and how it's making a difference in people's lives. So never be shy to share what God is doing. So with that said, let's get into this next section. And this next section, I want to call it content strategy. Do you have a content strategy for your YouTube channel? Do you have a content strategy? And if you do, how would you define your content strategy? Now, we're not going to go in so much in terms of the details of what your content strategy should be about, but I want to touch on in terms of, first of all, just do you have a content strategy? Do you have one? Let me make sure. Okay. Okay. Boom. Go there. Okay. Perfect. Do you have one? And what should be some key ingredients to your content strategy? One, I think, is you having a clarity and understanding of who your target audience is. Who is your target audience? When you get in your place of where you create your content to go live, or to press record, and to do your videos, who are you trying to reach on your YouTube channel? Who is it? A niche that's very competitive, or is it a niche where it's something that where not a lot of people create content? I think that's something we have to think through as content creators, because if it's a very crowded and competitive niche, that kind of one tells us that there's a demand for our content that we're making. But then as we kind of do a competitive analysis about the audience that we're trying to reach, who are our competitors? Who is, James, you have Prayer Request Live. Who is the competitor for Prayer Request Live? Now, we're content creators. We're not necessarily competing against one another, but Prayer Request Live is a ministry. Well, guess what? In our everyday life, we have brick and mortar ministries. We have other churches. We have other ministries. So there are other ministries out there, where there are other ministries online. Who is the competitor? Who is the one that has 25 to 50,000 subscribers? What's working on their channel? What can we learn from said channel and what they're doing right, and what are the opportunities that we can glean from their channel because they're missing those opportunities. um, Maybe where they're not addressing certain needs for their target audience, and we can kind of begin to address that. So I think your content strategy should have uh, an understanding of who your target audience is. I think also your channel goals need to be very clear about what your channel is about. Your if your channel is about, I've been watching this gentleman named Shefty. That's what his YouTube channel is, named Shefty. Um, he wears a chef hat, right? Red chef's hat, and he wears a suit, but he has a YouTube channel that talks about NBA basketball and sports. And so he does a lot of play by play online, calling the NBA basketball games. And so you can kind of see his whole overall presentation, that once he gets into the zone of really calling the basketball game, and if you're listening to a Mike Breen or Marv Albert on the radio, it kind of reminds you of that. And then he engages with the viewers in the live chat, and you begin to see, okay, I get the whole presentation here. He has a chef's hat. He's really cooking. Excuse me. He's really starting to cook and heat up because of his passion about NBA sports. And so as a result, you can kind of clearly see what his YouTube channel is about through his videos. You can also see it through his YouTube description and his channel goals. And so his target audience is very clear. And I think that's something, as content creators who work a 9-to-5 job, we need to have clarity about who our target audience. And when we lack our target audience, the understanding of who our target audience is, excuse me, I think Sean Cannell says it the best. The content creator who best understands their audience over time is going to win. I'll say that again. The content creator who best understands his audience will win. Now, let's define win. Does win mean that your videos, your live streams are going to go viral? Probably not. But you will begin to end up connecting with the right audience, where you'll begin to have people starting to come back and watch more of your videos, watch them longer, and ultimately transfer from being a casual viewer to a subscriber to someone that becomes a part of your community. The content creator who best understands his audience will have a casual viewer to ultimately becoming a subscriber to someone who becomes a part of your community. How well do you understand your audience, your target audience? Do you know what age demographic is standing out the most in your YouTube analytics in your audience section? For me, it's 35 to 44. It's interesting. The gentleman that I talked about in the creator shout out, Coach Bargain, he was mid 50s. He made it very clear to me in the comment section that he was a person in his mid 50s. And so, though I see there's a large percentage of my audience 35 to 44, when I start to dabble in and doing some shorts, I see the second audience of 25 to 34, but occasionally I will get that 45 to 54 or 44 to 55 audience, similar like him. My point is, do you understand your target audience? Is it predominantly male or female? Is it 75% male, 25% female? How well do you understand your audience? So I think having clarity about that is important, a part of you having a strong content strategy. I want to say good evening to our guest this past Friday, Mr. Brian Hill. Man, I'm still riding high on that great interview you provided to the Huddle community, Brian. So I'm so glad you took some time out your schedule just to pop in the 24-hour boss in the live chat. Those of you who are just joining us, we're just having creator only conversation tonight on how to grow on YouTube as a working class content creator, and just having some casual conversation. So we're talking about, do you have a content strategy, and can you define what it is? Which takes me now to the second point of this discussion is, what are your content pillars? What are your main points and topic of your channel? If you've been here with us with the Huddle now, since we've been back now for a little over 4 months now, you're starting to see a strong emphasis not just on growing on YouTube. There's a lot of YouTube channels and YouTube creators that want to help people grow on YouTube. Speaking of the angel in the chat tonight, Mr. Ender Trading just joined us. Good evening, sir. When you get a chance to check out the replay, we did a segment called Creator Shoutout, and you were a part of Creator Shoutout in the first segment of this live stream. So if you get a chance, check out the replay on that. But so glad you are checking us out from Ireland this evening here with Brian and James, and those are in Team Live. And so, what's your content pillars? What are your topics? For us, yes, it's helping other content creators, and along with myself, grow on YouTube and to make money online, but in particular, working class content creators who work a 9-to-5 job, working class content creators who have a family, a spouse, children, other personal responsibilities, and sometimes the challenge in juggling successfully, balancing successfully those other important things and priorities in your life while you're on YouTube trying to grow. Because when we don't juggle, when we don't balance those other priorities correctly, we see it in terms of our lack of consistency in uploading our videos. We see it in us feeling like we're fatigued, brain fog, burnout, and we feel like we're just too exhausted to be able to dedicate the time and work on a video that we can upload on YouTube or going live. We see it evident, and so having um, content pillars on that topic of working class content creators, on how we can best be able to balance those things, is one of part of our topics and points here on the Huddle. What's the content pillars for your YouTube channel? What's the main points that viewers will get value from? When they look at your thumbnail and your title, the promise that you're making that they're going to get, will those content pillars stand out in the video? Something to think about. And then from there, your channel goals. We touched on it a little early, but what is your channel goals? Sometimes your channel goals for your YouTube channel can evolve. It can change. If you've been on YouTube for a while and you just seem like the channel hasn't got to that place where it's hit certain milestones, and sometimes it takes longer. I mean, I think YouTube said, congratulations, Huddle, you've been on YouTube for 5 years. I didn't even realize it was 5 years. But because I stopped for about a year and a half where I wasn't creating content, when I decided to come back, there was a pivot. I didn't necessarily have to go into any major changing of the channel name and in terms of overall of what I want the channel to be about. but sometimes the channel will pivot. Your channel will evolve and change, and you have to kind of be aware of that through the content you're making. And if you feel like you're still in that experimental phase after 2 years of being on YouTube, that may mean you may need to sit down and maybe really take a hard look at what you're creating. When we talk about goals, I think of SMART goals. SMART goals are specific, they're measurable, they're obtainable, they're realistic, and there's a timetable to the goals that we set. And so if your YouTube goals for your channel are not realistic and you are still in the experimental phase, that could be a sign that you may need to go back and reevaluate. So, looking at your channel goals, looking at the types of content that you're making, whether if it's long form, horizontal videos, shorts, podcasting, I need to really sit down as I've been kind of um, focusing my content on who my audience, the target audience that I'm making it for. Um, I'm more and more I'm seeing YouTube in the studio really bringing some emphasis about my podcasting side of it. And that's because I probably have a lot of previous content that went into that podcasting section that's probably not aligned with one another. So I got to spend some time under the podcasting section of my YouTube channel to get it in line, so that way as I put new content there and follow-up content, that part of a format of my content will be productive. It'll provide some fruit over time. And so looking at the types of content that you're making on your YouTube channel and looking at what's working and what's not working. And then finally your content ideas, your topics, in terms of what you're making content about. Instead of just being so quick to want to just get in front of a camera and press record, or get in front of a live stream and to go live, spend some time and just work on your topics, and the ideas of your video, and putting together a series on a playlist. So take the time to do that. Take the time to do that. So that's our content strategy section. So we talked about creator shout outs, we talked about content strategy. Let me make sure that I do here. Like I said, tonight it's going to be kind of laid back. What is going on here? Okay. Okay, there we go. And of course, let's go back here. We're going to get the slide presentation right. So, content strategy. Let's talk about creative projects. I wanted to use this first creator only type live stream as an opportunity just to share about some creative projects I'm working on, and vice versa. If you're working on some creative projects, throw them in the chat for us. Let us know in the live chat what you're working on, what you got cooking on in the kitchen. If you are getting ready to launch it in a couple of months or weeks, kind of give us a timeline so that way we can make sure here at the huddle we can support it, and let us know. And so some of the creative projects that I'm working on for me is free giveaways. I had to spend some time and revamp my live stream checklist that initially that we had. So I had to, especially now that live streaming has introduced dual live streaming with vertical and horizontal together, and you have YouTube collabs, different new YouTube features. So I'd spent some time just redoing the live streaming checklist. So that's going to be one of the giveaways, that once we get our website um, updated, and I'm working on it because the brand colors of the huddle has changed to more to a black and red, whereas the website before I had took it down, it was more of a blue and white. And so from a branding color standpoint and just some other content that I need to take down and put up, I'm working behind the scenes on my website. So once we get that website in place, then that will allow us to start putting the giveaway of a free live stream checklist to help someone that's interested wanting to live stream for the first time, to kind of walk them through the steps. Another giveaway that I'm working on is a YouTube channel setup. Now it's interesting. I initially started working on this as a PDF, and I went from a PDF to a checklist to now it's an ebook. I didn't realize how many steps there are to really setting up your YouTube channel. And once I kind of really did my research and my homework on the different steps, if you learn to properly set up your YouTube channel, there's about 5 to 7 steps to that. Now, that's with you already having a Google account. That's with you already having a Gmail account. Now, if you don't have a Google and Gmail account, that bumps up that ebook to almost 7 to 10 sections. So what I end up doing for this ebook giveaway, that ultimately once the website gets in place, and that's going to kind of be our lead, our main lead magnet, where people can sign up for our email list and our newsletter. That version is 7 to 10. And so I end up creating two versions of it, the short version versus the longer version. So ultimately, while I'm working on the website, that's going to give me some time to really think on, should I go with the longer version, or should I go with the shorter version? So that's one of the creative projects that we're working on. Really spending some time with designing, physical merchandise, not just redoing our huddle um, community t-shirts and hoodies, and I'm looking at some hats, some coffee mugs. But one of the things I'm also looking to do is to be able to create some other types of premium t-shirts that are creator type focused. So, you know, one phrase you'll see people say is um, time to go live, or um, live happens. So, I'm looking at and doing some research and saying, is that something as a viable t-shirt that I can make, that people in the huddle community will be interested in making and purchasing? And so just looking at some physical products and some different types of t-shirts and other types of merchandise product that we can do. And then when it comes to digital courses, where I'm taking my time with this, because I've learned just through past projects that I've worked on in the past, like writing my first book to recording my first record. You have to really take your time on major projects like that, because if you rush through those things, it's going to stand out, and it's going to hurt the opportunity of that major project not doing as well as it should. And so we're working on a digital course right now, um, that ultimately we want to roll out in I want to say probably in 2027. So I'm taking my time with that. So those are just three creative projects that we're working on here on the huddle. My question to you is, in the live chat, if other than just creating content on YouTube, what creative projects are you working? Or where are you at in your journey? Are you working on digital courses? I've been doing my research in terms of, do I want to go with them? I think it's not Spotify, It's I can't think of the digital. It's a main digital Thinkific. That's what it's called, Thinkific. So I've been kind of doing some research on the types of templates and things that they have in place to be able to launch a digital course. But because my website is with Squarespace that I'm working on getting back up, I recently came across some videos where Squarespace provides templates and a format for me to do digital courses with Squarespace. So I'm looking at versus doing with the Thinkific versus doing it with Squarespace. So if it's more better for me and from a cost standpoint and just from an overall standpoint of just being a better platform, that's where I'm doing a lot of my research. And so you may be doing those types of things with a digital course or with a giveaway or a PDF or merchandise that you're working with. And so just having a time of just creator only conversation, putting it in the live chat or in the comment section and just getting feedback with one another can go a long way to help someone that they may be stuck at and help them to move their project along. So I just wanted to put this last section of the creator projects in here. And so th- basically, that's it. Question that I have for you, my fellow content creator, as you are growing and moving forward in this second half of 2026 on YouTube. Um, what's next for you? What's next for you? You know, what's next for your channel? And all that milestones and accomplishments that you have. What's next? Or where are you stuck at? And how can we better help? Hear you on the huddle. Help you here on the huddle. Like I said in our last section that we have called the Creator Shout Out, and since Ender Trading, I do still see you here. I'm going to go back to that first section. That's Unscripted Donna, and that's Ender Trading right there. We just took some time just to shout your channel out and what your channel was about. I had a chance to watch some of your content. And so there may be some individuals that are in the live chat or the replay, and you may be interested in finance and investing in stocks and other things regarding trading. Check out Ender Traders YouTube channel. You'll find some great content. And so from time to time, when we have these creator only conversations, not a whole lot of structure and typically how we normally do the huddle. We just wanted to shout them out. And as we said, you said, how can I get my channel a part of the creator shout out when we're doing creator only type live streams? It's just simple. Make sure that you're subscribed. Number two, you're consistently or periodically in the comment section on the replay of the live streams or a video that we've posted, or you're in the live chat engaging with the huddle community, and we will certainly make you one of the three choices for our next creator meetups. And so, but because in the trading, as I said, you're always consistent on team replay. You're always willing to offer constructive criticism on how I can better grow the channel. I appreciate the questions that you put in the chat on recently about SEO and in terms of using AI and SEO with titles and descriptions on the do's and don'ts and sharing your opinion. I appreciate you being willing to provide that constructive feedback, because we need that from one another. We need that from one another. So that's the reason why, sir, you are a part of this first round of creator collab shout outs. And so that is it. I'm going to end. Okay, didn't stop. So let's do it the traditional way. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the content. I see a couple of comments here. So before we get on out of here, I'm not going to take too much of your time. Brian says, the kind of shout out others. Hold on, let me make sure I read this out. Kind of you to shout others out. Oh yeah, definitely. We talk quite a bit as a part of one of those skills of collaborations. Yes, we kind of touched on collaborations on terms of being on another person's live stream, being a guest on another person's podcast, or collaborating with another video. But this is just another form of collaboration. So if I can help collab and to help bring attention to another content creator who has some great content, um, instead of us trying to do it the other ways, this could be just another great tool. So I appreciate your thoughts and your feedback on that. Mr. James says, continuing to build community. Prayer request live is not a ministry. Okay. And that's a debate in itself right there between me and you, but it's a safe faith space for believers. I would say to you, it's both. It is a ministry. Because you you sharing God's word is ministry. That's one. And two, you are creating a safe space for your community. So we will agree that it's both. We will agree that it's both, James. Any other comments? Hey, if you're getting great value out of this discussion tonight on this creator-only content creators meetup on live, do me a favor, click that like button for me, hit that thumbs up, share it on your favorite social media platform. If you're new to the huddle, and you want to grow as a working class content creator on YouTube and get more views, make money online, subscribe to the channel, click the alert notification button, and be a part of the huddle community that we have every Friday and Sunday at 8 p.m. And so just an informal live stream. I didn't put a lot of structure into this. I wanted to also just kind of just make it relaxed and approach it from a different format. So anytime you see, excuse me, anytime you see in the thumbnail creator only, you know that, hey, we're going to be talking about some collabs and creator shout outs. Pick a little brief topic. Tonight was on content strategy, and then just, have that creator project section. Those of you who are in the chat, Brian, James, Ender Trading, anyone else that's listening, watching this online, that you haven't kind of introduced yourself, let us know what creative projects you're working on. How can we be of support? How can we be of support? One thing I like about James prayer request live, there are times that I need prayer. My family needs prayer. I remember when my daughter 3.5 years ago, excuse me, went up to Syracuse, and leaving my princess at that campus and going back home with her not in the car was definitely a challenge for me and for the missus. But through willing to ask for prayer, and here now it's 3.5 years later, James, and by December she's graduating, and a year from this time she gonna be walking across to get her degree and moving on to her next level of education, whether if it's master's. So that's how we support one another through each other's YouTube channels. Great show and information. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this train into the station. Very informal, very, an opportunity for us to get together online in the chat and talk. And so those of you on the replay who've watched up to this point, I truly appreciate it. Please, I appreciate hashtag team replay. But as my great example, Ender Trading, he'll take it a step further. He'll put some extra stuff in the comments section and say, hey, I got this question for you. give me, let us know, what creative projects you working on. How can we how can we be a source of encouragement or just a resource to you? Let us know in the comment section. And like I said, if you have any questions about, having a content strategy for your channel, check the replay out. What are the points that we talked about in content strategy that you feel like you need to work on the most? Let us know. So that's the content. We're going to bring this train into the station. I want to thank each and every person that has been. Where am I at here? Media. Boom. And boom. I want to thank Brian. I want to thank Ender Trader, James, and anyone else that's been watching this live. Maybe you're driving and just doesn't permit you to be able to give us a hashtag Team Live in the chat, but definitely touch us up in the comments section. As I said, if you're new to the huddle, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the alert notification button, be a part of the conversation of this great community that we have called the huddle. We will see you on Friday night, 8 p.m. Have a good night, everyone.